Batman. Alright, I think it's time. I finally took off the mask. Alright, it's off. That's the end of the video. Okay, that would have been lame. That was the end of the video. No, that is a metaphor. If you haven't heard it before, hold on, let me fix my hair. That is a metaphor, taking off the mask. I think that a lot of us put on a mask in our lives and on social media especially because when we are creating content, there is this tendency to kind of like create an image of perfection. It's the idea of like a social media highlight reel. And that has never been my goal on social media, whether Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever the case. I want to showcase all sides of myself, and I realized that on YouTube I have done that the least. First of all, I guess I should say hello. My name is Patrick Lyons, in case you've never met before. I am also Batman. I've done a lot of videos as Batman, hence the metaphor for taking off the mask with Batman. But I think that even if I didn't dress up as Batman, even if I was talking about really any content creator, we all put on masks for our content. We create these characters that we portray. Even if the YouTube vlogs that we make are about our own lives, we tend to put on some sort of a facade. No matter how big or small, there is some element of inauthenticity that is inevitable when you create videos. It's hard to showcase all sides of yourself, but that's exactly what I'm trying to do. The reason I am making this video is because the last video that I put out was one of the most well-received videos I have ever made. And I don't mean that I got a ton of views. Like, the views don't really matter to me. What I'm talking about is the genuine engagement and response that I got on that video. The conversations I had with people, the comments that I got, the conversations I got to engage in on YouTube with people from all over the world about the sensitive issues that I addressed in my video. And that made me realize that, especially now during quarantine, that is something I want to do more of. I want to just genuinely and authentically be myself and share thoughts that I'm having that I think might help. And so what I want to talk about is actually the exact subject that this whole metaphor is based off of, this putting on a mask. And I want to tell you about my past and my background because I don't think I've talked about that enough here on YouTube. So the first thing that I want to say is that I am far more confident today than I ever used to be as a kid. I've always had elements of confidence in various areas of my life, but I wouldn't say that I was confident in all areas of my life. And a big reason for that is because I so desperately sought after the validation of others. I wanted to be the cool kid. I wanted to be in the popular group. I wanted to have XYZ friends, and that was such an unhealthy thing for me to do. It was like I was trying to force myself into groups that I did not fit into, that I did not belong in, and in that process I was bullied. In that process I felt like I didn't have my own identity. I was trying to conform to someone else's group identity, and there were just so many things about that were negative for my own mental health, and I wish that I could have gone back and told myself that I didn't need to do that. To get into specifics, I wanted to be in the popular group, and there were two particular kids in that popular group who bullied me. One of which who would make fun of the clothes I wore and my voice, the way it sounded, and both of those things made me insecure about the way I dressed and the way I sounded. And then there was another kid who told me that I had a skinny head. And as funny as that is, looking back on it, at the time, it was horrible for me. I would literally go into the bathroom and I would like put a towel in my hair to make my hair stick out the sides of my head so that my head would look less skinny. And it was like I was doing all this to conform to what I thought others thought I needed to be cool, to be popular. And I kept doing that, I guess, all through middle school and even into high school. But then I found the group that I truly belonged to. I was a theater kid. I was in speech and debate. So I would go to high schools on Saturday mornings, and I, just wearing a suit and tie, I would play these characters. Basically, if you've never heard of speech and debate, I would take like a 2-hour-long play, condense it down to 10 minutes, perform it in character, or I would give like an original oratory where I'm writing a persuasive speech and performing it in front of a judge, and you're competing against other people. The reason I bring all this up is because both theater and that, you're playing these characters, and that was what I gravitated to. It was like that activity was my creative outlet, and those people were my people. It was like I no longer had to change anything about myself because I was around the people I loved, and I was around the people who loved me. And that was the best thing that happened to me at that time in my life. It was like I finally found my group, I found my family, and I could be so much happier for it because I didn't have to change anything. There wasn't anyone bullying me. There wasn't any false identity that I had to become to be part of that crew. And I share that because, for one thing, if you're in that boat, I highly recommend just like ditch the people who aren't, fueling your life to be the best life that it can be. Find the people who allow you to live your best life and to do the things that you love and care about and don't need you to change for them. So that's my first thing. The second thing is I want to parallel this to something that happened far later in my life. Once I got into college, I became incredibly passionate about fitness. And I knew that fitness was the thing for me. It was what I cared about. It was what I wanted to do with my life. And so slowly but surely I started sharing posts. And I would share my transformation, or I would share various things about health and fitness and nutrition. But there was still an element of me that was scared. I didn't feel fully comfortable sharing these things because I feared others' judgments. And it got much worse as college went on because there was a group that I desperately wanted to be a part of, which starts sounding a heck of a lot like back in middle school. But there was a group I wanted to be a part of that was an elite group of men, and the group had been around for decades and decades, and they had a legacy of just very successful people on and off campus. And I longed to be in that group so badly. But then the same thing happened. I started feeling like I needed to conform, and when I was sharing these posts on social media, I started thinking about what others would think about me and whether those thoughts affected whether I would get in the group or not. And so then I would hold myself back. I didn't share everything I wanted to, and every time that I did share, I was stressed about it. I started thinking well, what is he going to think about it? And is he going to think differently? Is he going to judge me? And it was this clouded my thoughts so negatively. And the best thing that ever happened to me was that I didn't get in that group. I tried for 2 years to get into this group, and at that 2-year mark, on the first day of my junior year of college, I was officially told that I did not get into the group. It was the world came crashing down on me. I was devastated. I cried. I don't cry often, but that was a wreck of a week for me. And it ended up being the best thing that ever happened because from that moment forward, I stopped caring about what those people thought of me. It literally didn't matter. It never mattered to begin with, but my perception was that it did matter. And I share all of this because that allowed me to be my authentic self. Just like I went through in middle school, now in college, I realized that I was putting on a false identity for others. I felt the need to conform to a group identity. And that didn't allow me to be happy, and it didn't allow me to find my people, my family that I could carry with me for the rest of my life, that would be my lifelong friends. But more importantly than that, that group was holding me back from my greatest passion, and fitness. And because I no longer had this group that I was afraid of what they thought about me, I felt free, and I shared anything and everything that I wanted. And what I realized, the big moral of this story that I realized, is that the people who care about you and who truly support you will support you no matter what you do. And the people who don't support you were never going to begin with. So there's no reason to shape your actions around what they think about you, or even what you think they think about you. If you don't even have the factual evidence that they think something about you, you're just creating these thoughts about what you hypothesize others are thinking of you. And this just gets into a downward spiral that is not a healthy place to be. And I share this because that was a really, really hard thing for me to go through. And I really wish I could go back and tell myself that what others think about you do not matter. Specifically, what others who literally don't matter in your life, what they think about you truly doesn't matter. Because like I said, they weren't going to support you to begin with, so there's no need to shape your actions around them. Find the people who support you no matter what you do. Not just passively, but actively. When you share things with them, they're excited about it. They hype you up. The comments that I got on my last video, despite it being such a serious topic, it meant the world to me that people were saying that, thank you for sharing this. As a content creator, in quarantine, alone, it's hard. Content creation is a lonely, lonely place to be right now. I am alone in my room with my camera talking to you guys. But it makes it worth it when people just avidly support me. And I just cannot thank you enough for doing that, because you have helped me feel more comfortable, confident, and validated in what I do. And what I ask of you is to embrace what it took me so long to realize. No matter what it is that you do in your life, do not allow people who do not matter in your life to shape your actions, your thoughts, your passions, because it will only hold you back and you will only wish that you had done something more sooner. I say all of this in a very, very healthy mindset. Like, I am in a very happy place in my life. Granted, I just said I'm in a lonely place, but that doesn't mean you can't be happy. I'm happy and I'm alone in my room. But I just hope that you can take that message away with you, because life would have been a heck of a lot better, a heck of a lot sooner if I had embraced that. But it's never too late to. So whatever your passions are, pursue them with fervor, go after them with everything you've got. Don't let anyone hold you back. Find the people who you gravitate to, who are your family, who support you actively. Hold them close and then support them right back. Whatever they're doing, tell them that you care. Tell them that what they do matters. Tell me what I do matters. I'll tell you what you do matters. As long as you're doing things that are productive to you, the world, the people around you, then I will be there to support you. So, thank you for supporting me in my journey. Thank you for allowing me to take off the mask. I hope that metaphor makes sense now. And hope to see you guys soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.